Hello, everyone. Turn to Psalm 36, if you would. And today it's kind of a reality check. Sometimes we need those reality checks to help us get our thinking on the right path. And this particular Psalm, Psalm 36, David is just speaking up the Lord. I mean, just lifting up the truth of who he is. And it doesn't mean that everything in his life was going great. It just means that he is making sure he doesn't forget a few things about the Lord. And sometimes we forget. In fact, I think we sometimes get a little sloppy in our faith or even a little lazy in our faith. And then we find ourselves struggling to remember the goodness of God. So that's what this is for this morning, for that person who's for whatever reason, whether by purposeful decision or just circumstances, we've allowed ourselves to be quite distant from the Lord, from God's family, from the church and its ministry, and we've just allowed that distance to take place, or our circumstances have caused it. Look what he says in verse number 5, because a reality check on God's goodness oftentimes will draw us back to where we know we belong, no matter what the circumstance. And so verse number 5 says, "Thy mercy, O Lord, is in the heavens, and thy faithfulness reaches into the clouds. Thy righteousness is like the great mountains. Thy judgments are a great deep, O Lord. Thou preservest man and beast. How excellent is thy loving kindness, O God. Therefore the children of men put their trust under the shadow of thy wings. They shall be abundantly satisfied with fatness of thy house, and thou shalt make them drink of the rivers of thy pleasure." Listen, verse number 9. "For with thee is the fountain of life. In thy light shall we see light." There it is. "O continue thy loving kindness unto them that know thee, and thy righteousness to the upright in heart." And see, so David doesn't say give all of your goodness and remind all those people of your goodness that don't care about you, who say they love you but have a million other things they love more. I know that there's a lot of people out there that claim to love the Lord, but they just really don't have any time for him. And I got to say this: if that's how you handle all your relationships, then your relationships are suffering, because God is so good. We cannot allow God to be thrown to the side and gotten around to when we have time for him. We must prioritize him, and everything else in the world we'll get to if we have time after our relationship with God. Why? Because God is so good. That's a reality check. God is so good to us. We are alive today because he's good to us. We have the things that we have, any blessing that you can put your hands on. Remember, the Bible tells us in James that every good and perfect gift is from above. We don't get good gifts from our enemy. We only get good gifts from the Lord. And so he says, don't forget who God really is and what he's doing for you, or those things will disappear, because it's only for those that are in right relationship with God. It doesn't just come to everyone. And so I want to encourage you, remember the goodness of God before you're in a circumstance where the goodness of God cannot be felt. So you have to remember this before you end up there, because if you end up there without remembering the goodness of God, you'll try everything else before returning to our great God. And so let that be partially a warning, let it be a reminder, but let it also be a great encouragement to you. God is good. God is actually filled with mercy and kindness, and we need that every day. And so I hope that helps you have yourself a great day.